How's it going, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back to yet again another video. So in today's video, just like always, we're going to be breaking down the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and the Nasdaq. And I'm also going to be sharing with you guys what I personally did today in the markets, stocks that I'm involved with, and a couple of stocks and ETFs that I'm actually watching and looking to trade right now in January of 2019. Oh my God, not 2019, 2020. And as you guys read in the title, two stocks in particular, they're looking like they're breaking out, and we'll talk about those in this video in a couple of minutes. But before we do get into the video, all I ask from you is if you enjoy the video, find value in the video at any point in the video, simply go down below for me and hit that like button, and also consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see further content from me. And if you want two free stocks from Webull valued up to $1,400, I actually have an affiliate link linked down below in the description box where if you deposit $100 into Webull, no strings attached, you get two free stocks valued up to $1,400. So go take advantage of that deal linked down below in the description box. And without further ado, guys, let's get right into it and start off here with the SPX, the 500 largest publicly traded U.S. companies. And you guys can see this ended up closing up today, $11.43, up 0.35%. And today was another one of those days of roller coaster rides. It was a roller coaster ride in the market today. And let me show you guys the daily chart so we can see exactly what I'm talking about. We actually gapped down aggressively this morning from about 32.35 where we closed on Friday all the way down to about 32.15, which honestly, it's not too big of a move, but at the end of the day, that's a pretty sizable gap down, for just, weekend, the weekend close from Friday to Monday, if that makes any sense, of about 0.6%, right? So that's a decent gap down, and from there, we honestly recovered, right? We can see that we recovered. We did not hit an all-time high on the S&P 500 today, but it does seem like on this hourly chart, we are continuing the uptrend. This ended up being a higher low for the S&P 500, as you guys can see here, based on this red trend line that I have for you guys. So despite the rockiness this morning, despite that 0.6% correction, it seems like we are pushing up here, continuing the uptrend on the S&P 500. Now, the next level that I want to see break for us to hit that all-time high, or rather test that all-time high and maybe hit a new one, it's going to be right here, actually right where we closed beneath at around 32.47, $3,247. You guys can actually see this level was a resistance back on the 27th of December, back on the 2nd of January, right? Yesterday, actually, no, that was not yesterday. On Friday, on the 3rd of January, it was also a resistance. So the fact that we're right there, this is an interesting spot for the markets to be in. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to be watching the futures tomorrow morning as well as the large cap stocks. If everything's looking like we're gapping up, we're pushing up, this should no problem break out of the resistance and maybe even go to an all-time high tomorrow, guys. Yes, you heard me right. Maybe tomorrow, because at the end of the day, that's only 0.3, 0.4% away from where we are now. That is the all-time high, and I think that's very achievable in the matter of a day. We literally went up that amount just today, guys. So another day tomorrow like today, we'll be at another all-time high on the S&P, but there are risks here, right? There are a lot of tensions with Iran right now, and that could definitely end up dropping these markets. That's actually what I think dropped the markets this morning, over the weekend from Friday into this morning. The tensions, maybe retaliation and so forth. I saw on the news today, I forget what news outlet I was watching. It was actually at the gym while I was doing bike about an hour ago. I saw that, the Iran has vowed to take retaliation against the United States, which is scary, and that could definitely impact the market. And it seems like, that could be why this thing is gapping down. But either way, we recovered, and that's just the thoughts right now, right? We're uptrending still. We saw some rockiness, but at the end of the day, we ended up recovering here on the S&P 500, and it's going to be the same on all of these other indexes, the Dow and the Nasdaq. As you guys can see, we ended up going up 68.50 here on the Dow Jones today, up 0.24%. And this on the hourly, you guys can see, let me draw this trend line for you all. It's clearly uptrending, and today's price action held that uptrend trend line that I just drew out, and that's a higher low for the Dow, so that is looking good. And on the daily chart, we can see big gap down of about, let's see how much this one was, around 0.6, actually pushing towards the 0.7% here on the Dow Jones from Friday's close to this morning. But either way, we ended up rallying up from there and pretty much filling the gap and some from Friday's close on the Dow Jones. So not to really repeat myself on all of these indexes, because at the end of the day, they all look the same. At this point, they don't always look the same, but today they pretty much look the same. But, it's uptrending, it's recovering. That's kind of the action that we're seeing. And the Nasdaq, it's a lot of the same, right? Hourly chart, we held that 180 SMA at a higher low today from the previous. It seems like we are at a level here that, is a bit, of a resistance at about 88.40, 88.50, but it does seem like we're slowly breaking up here. So next spot for the Dow, or rather not the Dow, the Nasdaq is going to be at around 89.10 here on the futures. Let's see if we fill that gap up maybe tomorrow, maybe sometime this week, and from there, if we pop, obviously that's going to be an all-time high. So overall, guys, the Nasdaq up 0.5% today, up $42. In terms of these futures that I'm looking at, we saw, let's see the gap down, I believe it was here, gap down, and then pretty much we rallied for the rest of the day. So overall, that is the market update. Those are some thoughts here, on the markets. I'd love to know what you guys actually have to think about that down below in the comments section. Don't feel shy. Let me know thoughts on everything that's going on right now, even individual stocks that you're watching. I'd love to know. Now, let's talk about what I personally did today. And today was one of those days, guys, that I didn't buy any new stocks here. I didn't really sell anything. It was one of those days where I was just chilling on the sidelines, watching my swings go to work for me. And a lot of them did well today. And let's talk about some of those that did well. One of them was Facebook here. It was up 1.88% today, up almost $4 on the day. You guys can see we closed at 212.6, and we actually hit a 52-week high today on Facebook. If we go on the yearly chart, you guys will be able to see that. Boom, right there. And now we're actually breaking above that 212 level of resistance that I do have here from back in the middle of July, back all the way in 2018. So this is very positive, and like I've been saying in these videos, I think Facebook's going to 220, no problem, right? And it's already making its push there. And for those of you guys that don't know, the all-time high is 218. So if we fill up to 220, obviously that would be a new all-time high. And my whole, goal with Facebook here was to profit from the 205 level, 206, 207, which is where I accumulated a lot of my shares, all the way up to, again, that 220 level, which honestly, guys, that's a pretty nice chunk of profit there. If we get a rough range of how much that would be, it's around 5 to 6%. Again, from around 206 up to about $220. So that's one that did very well today. Uber did very well for me again. Another one that did very well for me, up 21 cents today, up 0.67%, guys. And this one has been very bullish over these past couple of weeks here. Honestly, it's been about a month and a half, almost 2 months now, and especially over these past couple of days, ever since we broke above that that level that I've been talking about, $31, $30.75 to about $31 per share. Now, we're looking to fill that gap up to $33.50, and the price action backs that, right? We're trading above the EMA, the 50 SMA, and that 180 SMA, and we completed the uptrend here at a higher high as of today. And the pull down that we're seeing here is a very healthy pull down. As you guys can see on the 5-day, 5-minute, we are riding these 180 and 50 SMAs here, pulling down and bouncing on top of them it seems like every day, right, over these past couple of days. So this, based on the trend, it should continue here, and this does heavily rely on the markets. I noticed how markets tanked a couple days ago, Uber followed. So if the markets push green, like I mentioned earlier, maybe the S&P hits that all-time high, I think Uber should no problem be able to continue this trend and maybe even get up to $32 per share, or rather test that level tomorrow and maybe break that level sometime during this week. But for me, guys, you know, if you've been watching these videos, I've been in Uber since around $30.50, I believe is my cost basis right now, and I plan on selling those shares at around $33.50 and maybe re-entering if we break above that level for maybe up to about $35, $36, $37, which would offer another roughly, I'd say, 8 to 10% of potential on Uber. So those are, I guess you can say, the two best performing ones of the day for me today. Some other ones that I'm also in, PayPal. Actually, this one did better than Uber at the close. Did it? Let me double check. Yes, it did. So PayPal was actually better than Uber, and this is also one that I'm holding, and I plan on taking a lot of profits at around 112, and today's action is very good because we're seeing a definitive hold above 108 on the bounce today, and we're seeing a test at about 110 and a close above 110, which was a resistance a couple days ago, and a couple days before that. That's a good sign that PayPal does want to fill up here to 112. So some other ones, Home Depot. This is another one that I'm in that did pretty well today. Still holding it. This is probably the least, the worst rather, performing swing that I have right now because I'm not down on it a lot. I think I'm actually up a little bit on Home Depot right now, but it's really not doing anything crazy. I'm roughly at break even. So Home Depot is one that I'm holding, and yeah, that's pretty much it for the trading update, guys. There's definitely one that I missed out on. Oh, ADV. That's another one that I'm still holding. This one crushed it. Oh my God, I forgot. This one was up 2% today, up $1.07, almost 2%. So these are just a couple. I think actually that's all of them that I'm actually swing trading right now, and they're all doing pretty well. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the trading update. Let me know down below in the comments, guys, if you want to share what you're trading and what your plans are with the specific stocks that you're holding. So without further ado, let's talk about these two breakout stocks, one of them being Chipotle Mexican Grill, ticker symbol CMG. And if you guys recall, this was actually about a month and a half ago. I was actually buying Chipotle Mexican Grill in the 750 level, in the 750, 760 level, if I remember correctly, and I swing traded it up to about, I believe it was like $830, and from there, actually no, that's a lie. I think it was to about $815. But either way, I swing traded it there, and ever since that point, I've been telling myself that I want to re-enter, and really, this is the opportunity. Actually, a couple days ago would have been the optimal entry at about $850, but the fact that we're breaking out of $860 now, this is another entry point because this is a full-on breakout for the stock. And let me show you guys, these longer-term charts here, the 3-year weekly chart. We actually hit an all-time high in Chipotle Mexican Grill today at about $870.94. Let me double check. Was that today? I think it was. Nope, it was on Friday. That's why I had to double check for you guys. But either way, we hit an all-time high in these past two trading sessions on Chipotle Mexican Grill. And the fact that, we're holding above 860, being that old resistance as a new support, and the fact that we pulled down today, from the all-time high on Friday, that opened up a nice potential entry point and a nice profit margin opening from 870 to 858. And now the thing is, guys, I'm not going to hop right into it, unless we slowly see a break and a confirmation that we're holding 860, which honestly, with today's action, we're seeing that, confirmation support, but we didn't fully get the break up yet that I want to see for the entry point. So at this point, Chipotle, it offers some potential here up to 870 of about 1.5 to 2%. And I feel like these restaurant stocks, McDonald's is the next one we'll talk about here. I feel like they have more in the tank, and if these earnings are good, which I have a feeling that the earnings are going to be good from my research, and that's a whole different, topic for a whole different video. I think Chipotle can easily go to $900+ here. I actually saw an analyst say $1,000 price target, but then again, all analysts, in my opinion, you have to take their opinions with grains of salt. But either way, I think there's a lot of potential here for Chipotle. So that's one breakout. And the next one is McDonald's, which fully popped today, up $2.25, up 1.12%. And it broke above that 201 level of resistance that I've been talking about in these videos. So now, guys, I didn't enter quite yet. I want to see what it does tomorrow and maybe on Wednesday. But now I want to see a potential hold here. I want to see it hold 201 and even start climbing back up, and that's where I'd look to enter. And the fact that we've actually pulled down today from 202.70 to about 201.60, and we ended up closing on a nice little upswing, that's a good sign that the pull down may have already happened. But on this 5-day, 5-minute, if we end up gapping down tomorrow, pre-market, who knows if that ends up happening, this is the level to watch, 201, putting it right above that 180 SMA, and that's where I'd enter. So McDonald's from 201 up to about $205. That's the range that I'm looking at. And honestly, I think McDonald's has a really good chance here. I'm not going to say 100% chance because that'd be foolish of me. No one knows exactly what's going to happen, but I do think it has a lot of potential to get above that 205 level and maybe to 213. These are some levels that I'm seeing. 215 is another level. 220 is that all-time high. These are all levels that we could get to if we continue breaking above resistances. So those are the two breakout stocks that I'm watching right now, and I want to talk about some other ones, one being Snapchat, ticker symbol SNAP, and this is one that I don't really trade all too often. I can't even remember the last time I've traded Snapchat, but it actually came to my attention from one of the subscribers to this channel. And if you guys want me to talk about any stocks, feel free to just drop them down below in the comment section. Go to our Discord group, which is linked down below in the description, message me the stocks, or go on Instagram and DM me on there. Either way, contact me somehow. All that stuff's in the description, and just shout out some stocks. And Snapchat has been one of those that, honestly, I have not been watching. I'll be completely honest. And the fact that, I forget who called it out to me, somebody did, I looked at it, I'm seeing some potential here, especially as we've been rallying so aggressively, it seems like, ever since the middle of December. You guys can see we've gone from $14 all the way up to $17, which is a 20% move, more like 17%, but a massive move in the matter of 3 weeks of trading. And now we're actually pulling down from about 1710. We already did pull down to about 1650, and it seems like we held that higher low on top of that 50 SMA, and we're riding that 50 SMA up here. So for me, take a look at this, guys. I'd like to see a break above 1685 before entering into Snapchat. And that is because that was the resistance on Friday after market hours, right? Actually, no, that was on Thursday after market hours. That was the resistance at about 1685. So from 1685, let me create that alert. if we break that level up to about 1710, that's a tradable zone range, I believe, that would be around a 1.3% potential. And with the trend here of Snapchat being up, right, the momentum is clearly up based on multiple time frames. We can get even further than that. 1710 is really I'd say the minimum you can make here. If this thing continues the rally, goes to 1750, for example, you guys can make, I can make, if I end up buying this, and I'll let you guys know in upcoming videos, we can make together maybe 3 to 5% if that were to happen up to 1750, right? So Snapchat, definitely worth watching here. Another one that's kind of similar is Altria, ticker symbol MO. And this is one that on the 4-hour chart, it's showing a potential dip by entry as we did pull down from about 51.50 down to about 49 bucks. And I do believe this is because, if I remember correctly, what was it? We got news that the flavored e-cig, flavors for the Juuls, right, and other e-cigarettes around the world, rather the country, they may be federally banned now, if I'm remembering correctly. And I think that's the catalyst over these past couple of days that's dropped Altria, and that's because they own a majority of Juul, which is obviously one of the biggest players, if not the biggest player in the e-cigarette market. So that ended up pulling down the stock to about, from 51.50 rather, down to about 49 bucks, opening up that 5% potential. So for me, I need to see a break above $50 here, 50.30 at least, for me to enter this position on a swing, as a swing trade, and definitely a break above that 50 SMA, which would be putting us roughly at that 50.50 to 50.75 level. So MO, it's a bit riskier, I believe, due to the all the craziness around Juul and all the craziness around everything that's been going on, health problems, people in the hospital, all that stuff. Now this news about the federally banning of e-cig flavored and having only, I believe, what are the two flavors, menthol and tobacco being sold, that ended up selling it off. But either way, this is actually a dividend stock that I own in my long-term portfolio, so they pay a nice dividend, and if you were to swing trade it for a year, hypothetically, right, you'd be getting dividend money along with the potential capital appreciation that it offers, up to, in my opinion here, 53 bucks, and even higher, maybe up to $55, $56. So MO, that's my opinions and thoughts on that stock. A couple more here, guys. Disney, ticker symbol DIS. This one sold off today, which is not too good in my opinion, but the fact that we held 145, it is not worth completely scrapping off of the watch list. This still has some hope in it due to the fact that we held 145. So what am I looking for tomorrow? Very, very simple, guys. We need to see a break up here. We need to see a hold at 145 and really a test back to about 147, 148, and honestly, that's where I'd consider a swing position, because right now I'm kind of nervous, honestly. If I were to enter here and this thing were to dump, honestly, there's a lot of potential for it to drop down to about 143. That's really the best case scenario, and from there, if it fell further, it could go to 140. That's another level, so I wouldn't want to get caught in that, which is why I'm being safe and just careful with my entry here on Disney. So another one is Microsoft, ticker symbol MSFT. This is one that hit an all-time high yesterday, or actually is that Thursday after market hours at around 160.8, and we actually pulled down very slightly down to about 157, held that 50 SMA at a higher low. So this is pretty much just a momentum play. Microsoft's obviously on an uptrend. Obviously, every dip has proven to be a buy for the stock in terms of short term here. And every buy is worth, or rather every dip is worth taking a look at, in my opinion. And although it doesn't offer a crazy amount, probably around 1.3% back up to 161, you got to realize, guys, if these markets continue to stay healthy, which I think there's a pretty good likelihood that happens at least through the election here over the next couple of months. You got to realize Microsoft, this thing could continue rallying. We don't know. It could go to 170. It could go to 175, 180. And that's a nice swing to just have in your portfolio, in my opinion, that could be a bit more of a safer play, because it does seem like Microsoft, it's really just been rallying despite all of the craziness with, China and everything that's just been going on, economy, Fed, over these past, 18 months, right? So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Oh, NEO. Let me just break down NEO, because NEO ended up selling off today, down 15 cents, down 4%. I almost forgot here, guys. And honestly, I don't really know what to make of this at this point. We clearly got rejected yet again at around 4:30 today. It seems like this morning we were actually rallying up. I was excited for this one today because pre-market, I think it was up 10%. As you guys can see here, we broke up 390 all the way up to 455, but ever since then, it was kind of a disappointment. We didn't fail, or we didn't successfully break above 450, which I was hoping for, because that's what we need to see to get back up to $5. So we didn't do that. We ended up dumping, and now it seems like, on the 5-day, 5-minute, it's a clear resistance at 450, but we're still holding the uptrend, it seems like, over these past 2 days of trading, putting it again in that funky spot. So am I looking to hop into NEO here on maybe a swing trade basis? Honestly, no. I'm just looking at it and playing it safe, really, by not getting in quite yet until we see that confirmation of a pop above $4 at least, and for it to successfully hold that level. So overall, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, feel free to go down below for me and hit that like button, and also consider subscribing if you want to see further content from me. And don't forget to claim your 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400 with a deposit of $100 into Webull, which is linked down below in the description box. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks again for all your support, for watching these videos. It means a lot to me, guys. Peace out.